Elon Musk has a plan for Austin, Texas. He didn't come to town to take it over or fix it up. He wants to build something the world has never seen before. Some people call it a utopia, while others call it a nightmare. Looking at this really is like seeing the future, at least in Elon Musk's mind. In the spring of 2020, California officials told Elon that Tesla's Fremont factory had to close because of the spread of COVID-19. Elon refused, and this was a turning point for the new electric car company. On March 16th, deliveries of the brand-new Model Y crossover began. And while the rest of the world was slowing down, Tesla was speeding up, but running into a lot of problems along the way. By May 2020, Elon was suing the state of California, writing on Twitter, "Honestly, this is the last straw. Tesla will now move its headquarters and future programs to Texas, Nevada immediately for Musk." This was a pretty big change of direction for Elon, who had left South Africa when he was 18 years old and had short stops in Ontario, Canada, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, before ending up in California. He was 24 years old at the time, and it was 1995. From that point on, we all know what happened. Elon made a lot of money, bought a lot of land, and started a lot of new businesses in California. In an interview with Site Selection magazine, Elon could have been the face of Silicon Valley's innovative, tech-focused business spirit, but it didn't last. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, said that he and Elon Musk started talking in the spring of 2020. Governor Abbott said that the first step would be to bring Tesla's Gigafactory to Austin. But Governor Abbott also said that Musk had a bigger plan for the future of Texas, even back then. We know that when Elon Musk gets angry, he can act on his feelings, and without thinking. Walter Isaacson, a biographer, called that demon mode. But Elon's move from California to Texas was about more than just spitting on people he thought were his enemies. At his core, Elon is a critical thinker. There were logical benefits to Texas that would never be available on the densely populated West Coast. There was plenty of open land to build on, which allowed operations to grow. There was less traffic, which meant people could move around faster and more efficiently. Houses were cheaper, which would help attract young talent to the company. Taxes were lower, which in turn lowered operating costs, and there were fewer rules in Texas. On October 7, 2021, Tesla held its annual shareholder meeting at the newly finished Gigafactory in Austin, Texas. Elon made the move official. Tesla's headquarters would no longer be in Palo Alto or Silicon Valley, but the Gigafactory was only the first step. Elon still had 4 more companies in California, and the Boring Company would be the next to arrive, which is why we need to introduce a new location. In Bastrop, Texas. In an area of Austin just east of the Tesla Gigafactory, on a stretch of rural road next to the Colorado River, a dull business has set up shop. 2 years ago, this was a cow field. But now it's Hyperloop Plaza, the research and development hub for Elon Musk's quickly expanding company. Moving the Boring Company's headquarters out of California wasn't such a big deal because the tunneling operation had been started in the SpaceX parking lot in Hawthorne, a suburb of Los Angeles. It was time to leave the nest, and a company that was built to dig needs room to dig. But that's not the most interesting thing going on around Hyperloop Plaza. And the Boring Company site is starting to look like a community. To me, it looks more like a clean caravan park than the city of the future. But it's still early days. The Boring Company has its own community center, which is called the Boring Bodega. Across the road, the Boring Company has a new neighbor. SpaceX has been making their Starlink internet terminals in this huge warehouse. Not the satellites or home dishes, but the internet terminals. In September, SpaceX stated that they had made 1 million Starlink kits in just 10 months of business. It's been a while since SpaceX was in Texas. Elon Musk started to settle down in the state, but not in Austin. Instead, he moved 350 miles south to the village of Boca Chica, where SpaceX began buying land in 2014. The company didn't seem to be doing much with it until August 2019, when a strange little rocket called Starhopper took off for the first time. That was the start of the Starship program, and Starbase would become the home of SpaceX. Why isn't that in Austin? Well, the short answer is that you can't launch rockets from Austin. You need to be on the coast and as close to the equator as possible, which is exactly what Boca Chica is. This is another place where it's been said that Elon Musk was building his own town. In Boca Chica, there was a bit of an early start, with about 30 ranch houses built on 2 streets that were each about a quarter-mile long. SpaceX bought out as many of them as they could as Starship activity grew, but that wasn't nearly enough living space, so SpaceX set up their own employee community. This one is a small caravan park. Some new houses are being built in Boca Chica, but they're pretty big and not designed for high-density living. You can tell that SpaceX has pretty much taken over the area because they even changed the names of the streets to honor Lyndon B. Johnson, who was president when NASA landed on the moon. A pub that's only for SpaceX employees and a private school called Adastra for their children were built nearby. Adastra isn't the only school that Elon Musk might be involved with, though. A tax return from December 2023 shows that Elon is planning to start a university in Austin through one of his charities. Public records and the foundation's records show that Elon gave $100 million to build and open a primary and secondary school in Austin that would teach maths, science, technology, engineering, and the arts. When the school is fully operational, the filing says it will focus on building a university. Now let's talk about the newest Musk company, Neuralink. In July 2024, news came out that Elon's brain implant company had started building a $14 million 3-story office building and manufacturing space. The building is located just east of the city, about halfway between the Tesla Gigafactory and the Boring Company Bastrop site. It is on the same bank of the Colorado River as those 2 projects, and there are 37 acres of land owned by Neuralink Corp, more than enough to expand in the future. The headquarters of Neuralink are still in Fremont, California. The building has been home to pigs, sheep, and monkeys who helped test the Neuralink implant in the beginning. The company has now moved on to trying it on humans. They will likely have a lot less money to spend on taking care of all these animals, which will allow the company to start over at this Austin property. Finally, there's X. This is a strange one. In July 2024, Elon Musk announced on X that XHQ would be moving to Austin. Of course, X used to be Twitter and wasn't started by Elon Musk, but was taken over in a hostile takeover a couple of years ago. The company's head office was included in the takeover, which meant that Elon Musk had to move back to California from Texas to change the social media company into something more like himself. One of the first things Elon did with Twitter was fire about 80% of the staff, so you can imagine that office space is pretty much empty, which is probably weird. It wouldn't make much sense to hold on to the probably very expensive property. Elon's dislike of California politics, especially Governor Gavin Newsom, has grown over time. Elon has also said he's had enough of avoiding gangs of violent drug addicts just to get in and out of the building. You may have noticed that none of the Musk companies moving to Austin are actually in Austin. They are all kind of on the outskirts, which makes sense in most cases. A Boring Company needs room to dig. Tesla and SpaceX needs to launch rockets. But you'd think that the headquarters for a website would fit right in with Austin's downtown area. But the new X headquarters will likely be in Bastrop, probably in the same place as the Boring Company Hyperloop Plaza. There are two possible interpretations of this event. Either Elon Musk is becoming more private and secretive about his business, or it has something to do with his plan to make X more than just a social media app. It will be the everything app, and it's also closely connected with his Xi venture. We know that generative AI needs a lot of computing power to work. Elon has already built the world's largest AI data center in Memphis, Tennessee, which will power an updated version of Grok AI that could be released as early as the end of this year. However, that doesn't mean that Elon won't build an even bigger and more powerful data center in Bastrop. Politics have always been important, but they're even more important now. Of course, no one wants to live in a city with a lot of crime and homeless people, but the most important thing that Texas offers Elon and his companies is room to grow. Efficient, affordable, and long-lasting growth. California used to offer that, but not anymore. With that in mind, even though Musk has already done a lot in Texas, we can say for sure that this is just the start. Things will only get bigger from here on out.